What's up, everyone? So I want to share with you all my takeaways from the Drake versus Kendrick rap battle. I have 5 points, so let's get right to them. Point number one, Kendrick simply won. The vast majority of professional musicians, by that I mean songwriters, producers, rappers, instrumentalists, most of them pretty much agree that Kendrick won. And it's for many, many technical reasons. Many of them agree that Kendrick is just the better rapper, had the better rapping schemes, the better angles, the better storytelling, the better music production, the better songwriting. So it's pretty much unanimous that amongst the professional musician community, they pretty much all acknowledge that Kendrick won. Now, why is this important? This is important because obviously to the non-professional musician, a lot of music is just opinion based and people have the right to like whatever they want. But this is why it's important to take into consideration what professionals think about this. People who actually dedicate their lives to this, who study it on a deeper, non-emotional and more technical level. So if the people that are actually professionals in this field are pretty much saying that Kendrick won, we should take that into consideration as a big win for Kendrick. Furthermore, I think this really kind of also solidifies or highlights the fact that Kendrick is a Pulitzer Prize winner. If you don't know what a Pulitzer Prize winner is, you should look it up. This is a big deal. This is geniuses usually win these type of awards. So the fact that Kendrick won, it really highlights his genius and it really shows like the levels to this and why he won a Pulitzer. His ability to look at situations through unique angles, his lyricism, all the things that actual professional musicians are praising him for. These are the exact same reasons why he is a Pulitzer Prize winner. He is the only hip hop artist to win a Pulitzer Prize. So there's levels to this. And obviously the Pulitzer panel agreed, and so does the professional musician community. Point number two, culture 100% matters. Throughout this whole thing, Drake got exposed as not being part of the culture, as opposed to Kendrick Lamar, who deeply leaned into being hip hop and being a part of the West Coast hip hop scene. So having a regional home, this is something that Drake couldn't, he couldn't compete with. And many of his takes were because he doesn't really have a culture that he's a part of. He seemed out of touch. He didn't really seem to understand some of the things that Kendrick was saying. Just seemed to be going over his head. And I think for hip hop as a whole, this kind of represented a culture versus consumerism battle, and obviously Drake presenting consumerism, and the message was pretty loud and clear. It's like, hey, hip hop is not just TikTok memes and catchy little phrases or whatever. Like hip hop is rooted in our ancestors' experience and heritage, and this is something culturally rich and profound. So I thought that was a something important that was very important in this battle, and Kendrick 100% leaned into it, into his culture, and Drake just really came across looking like he's just culturally unaware or insensitive or whatever. Number three, going along with this culture thing, it really this beef really kind of brought us back to like the harsh reality of the roots which this music comes from, right? So ultimately hip hop is an art form that was birthed because underrepresented communities that were struggling, they needed a voice, and they wanted to be heard. This is music that comes from a struggle, a music that comes from pain and suffering. And And because of that, hip hop is a complex art form. It has ties with the streets, with gangsters, and all these things. And obviously, unfortunately, with Drake's home getting shot at, we get this harsh reminder of like, hey, this music isn't just TikTok, social media. This is music that means a lot to people, and this is music that is comes from the bottom, right? And that's something. It was a harsh reminder for us. Now, I think DJ Academic has reported on the Drake home shootings, and it's not tied to, from what he's saying, it's not tied to the Kendrick situation or anything like that. But nonetheless, just the timing of everything, it does remind us of like, hey, this art form, it's serious business. Like this is art form that comes from the bottom, from the struggle. My fourth point, this rap battle reminds us that rap battles are a necessity in the culture because they kind of help restore order, right? So this whole time we've been talking about the commercialization of hip hop from the very beginning, from Rapper's Delight to Run DMC. We see this hip hop kind of struggle with this, like, hey, are we like the music of the people, the music of the struggle of the ancestors, or are we just out here to get money? And some artists like Jay-Z, for example, they've been kind of masterfully been able to to juggle both worlds, like be commercial, get the money, but also stay true to the culture. And the beautiful thing about rap battles is like it's almost like a true democracy. It lets the people hear all the sides, all the arguments, and then the culture gets to decide who where they stand and who's the winner. So it's almost like a very democratic sort of beautiful thing that happens with this rap beefs and with these rap battles, and it really helps restore order. So in this case, the people were on the side of culture, like, hey, this is more than just like a money making machine to us. Like this is our lives, this is our ancestors. So that was a very interesting thing to be reminded of. Like hey, you know, we need this. And I know that there's a lot of rap legends, like Questlove just wrote a letter about how he didn't agree with the beef, and even like a lot of publications are saying they don't agree with it. But it almost seems like a very democratic thing, like a very beautiful thing of how it works with these rap battles. Um, and then my fifth and final thought about this, or takeaway on this, is that at the end of the day, like, we were reminded that music, that hip hop is the music of the oppressed, and that no matter how successful it gets, we can't ignore its origins and its message. I mean, we go all the way to like Grandmaster Flash, where he's talking about, like the message, or we get to Tupac, the revolutionary, where he's talking about the struggles and he's super conscious, or Biggie. For some reason, in this 2000s era, we thought that hip hop had outgrown the culture, and that it was just sort of like this this corporate thing. And the beautiful thing about this rap battle is that it kind of brought it back to its essence. And I understand that there's people out there saying like, oh, this was staged, or the music industry sent Kendrick to take Drake out, or I don't know anything about that. I just know that this ultimately brought hip hop. It reminded us all of hip hop's roots, where it comes from. It's a beautiful art form, and that has systems built into place that ensure that it stays true to its origins. And I think that's beautiful. So that's my takeaway. Let me know what you think, and peace out.